Australian forests. Complex, mysterious, deadly. The tangled branches and gloomy undergrowth provide perfect hideouts. Shadows in which to lie in wait. Secret lairs from which to launch a lethal ambush. A predator's paradise. These are the case files of Australia's notorious forest killers. Lurking beneath the canopy are predators that conceal weapons, hunt in gangs and lay deadly traps. Even the plant life should be considered armed and dangerous. Topping the list is a killer that is renowned for throttling its victims. The Amethystine Python. Meet Australia's biggest snake. It can grow to more than 20 feet long. The Amethystine Python, locally known as the Daintree Strangler. As much at home on the ground as he is in the trees, this magnificent male has a ravenous appetite. He could devour an adult wallaby. He hunts in the pitch dark of the forest night. But he doesn't need night vision. Heat-sensitive pits in his jaws can detect warm-blooded prey. There's nowhere to hide. As he prowls, his tongue flicks in and out, tasting the air, relaying chemical messages to his brain via a special receptor in the roof of his mouth, known as the Jacobson's organ. He smells a rat. A plump, juicy rat. While remaining perfectly still might save the rat from a predator that's reliant on eyesight, there's no escaping the acute senses of this killer. This snake's bite contains no venom. He doesn't need it. His powerful jaws and long backward-angled teeth grip the rat, while he slides his deadly coils around the prey. Powerful muscles constrict, crushing, suffocating, squeezing the life out of his victim. To swallow something this big needs an unusual approach. His jaws are held in place with elastic tendons, which can stretch wide enough to accommodate amazingly large prey. The rat is swallowed whole, head first, fur and all. A tasty morsel, and enough to keep this Daintree Strangler satisfied for several weeks. While the Amethystine Python uses brute force to throttle its victims, Other forest assassins use more intoxicating methods to subdue prey. Australian forests harbour creepy crawlies that wield potent chemical weapons and should be approached with caution. These beautiful golden threads, catching the sun glistening in the light, have been built by a spider. The golden orb weaver spider, named after its remarkable gilded web. Attractive in appearance and sinister by design, bees and other insects are attracted to the bright threads, a deadly trap constructed by the spider to lure and ensnare her prey. Measuring 3 feet across, her web is huge. A complex structure created by a master weaver. This is precision engineering, an intricate web of deceit. With a leg span of up to 4 inches, the inward-pointing limbs of the golden orb weaver are specialised for weaving. Strong, flexible and light, the silk she spins is considered a wonder of the natural world. The web is so strong, it can stop large flying insects and even small birds. Now all she has to do is wait. In the dangerous underworld of the forest floor below, a community lives out its own drama. This is a katydid, a relative of grasshoppers. It lives among the leaf litter, feeding on the fallen leaves and seeds that cover the ground. Wherever it feeds, the shadows hide danger. Like this giant centipede. The katydid looks remarkably like a leaf, a clever deception that allows it to blend in with its surroundings. But it can't fool the deadly predator that has it locked in its sights. A nocturnal hunter, the giant centipede measures nearly 10 inches long. Its eyes can only just make out light and shade, but it doesn't rely on vision. With sensitive antennae, it tracks the chemical signals left by potential prey. Centipedes haven't changed much over the millennia. They would have stalked the forest floor around the feet of dinosaurs. They're equipped with fearsome weapons. Strong mandibles for tearing at flesh, claws to hold their victims still, and lethal venom. But the katydid also has sensitive antennae and knows the centipede is closing in. One jump and it escapes. But It's a leap to its death. The golden orb weaver's patience is rewarded. The katydid struggles all it can, but it can't get free of the web. Or the spider's deadly fangs. Orb weaver venom is similar to that of the black widow spider of North America. It quickly paralyzes the katydid. Her meal is packaged and ready for consumption. Below, the centipede is still on the hunt. It's detected another katydid. This one doesn't sense the approaching threat. Moving at nearly 2 feet a second, the centipede's numerous legs give it the advantage of speed, and it quickly descends upon its mark. Now its legs are used to envelop the victim, holding it tightly as modified front legs, known as poison claws, inject lethal venom. Once subdued, the prey is ripped apart with serrated mandibles. Leaving little behind, disappears back into the gloom of the forest floor to digest its meal. While some of Australia's creepier inhabitants wage chemical warfare, other killers of the night use more primitive techniques. They simply tear flesh from bone. When hunting, carnivorous marsupials inflict grievous bodily harm. In the dense forests on the remote island of Tasmania, an attractive marsupial comes out just after dark. He's about 3 feet long and weighs over 7 pounds. But don't be fooled by his innocuous looks. His dainty face hides powerful jaws armed with long, sharp teeth. He's a notorious hunter. A baby-faced killer. He hunts alone, prowling the forest floor for small or medium-sized mammals. Like paddymelon, the smaller relative of the kangaroo. The tiger quoll gorges on the soft tissue only. His jaws aren't strong enough to crunch through bone or tendon. He has to eat quickly. There are thieves in the shadows, ruffians ready to steal his prize. A Tasmanian devil, the larger cousin of the quoll, and a formidable rival. This one can smell the kill. To avoid a fight that he cannot hope to win, the quoll beats a hasty retreat. Luckily, he can do something that his ferocious cousin can't: climb trees. Quite at home amongst the canopy, it doesn't take long for this adept hunter to find another meal. A nest of crested pigeons. Raiding the sleepy family, he snatches one of the babies in the ultimate nightmare. His sharp teeth shear through flesh and small bones, a grisly end for the young bird. While the quoll's appetite is satisfied, on the ground below, the night's carnage has only just begun. Tasmanian devils are the largest and fiercest of the marsupial carnivores alive today. This species used to roam all over the continent, but is now only found in Tasmania. They hunt at night, feeding on small mammals, birds and reptiles. But they'll occasionally take on prey much bigger than themselves. A solitary ambush predator, this male works alone. He spotted a mob of wallabies. An efficient kill. With one of the most powerful mammalian bites on Earth, he can gnaw through every part of the carcass. Fur, flesh, tendons, even bone. A devil can devour 40% of its body weight in half an hour, leaving nothing to waste. But the scent of blood is thick in the air. A scent that other devils can smell from several miles away. The fresh kill attracts a motley crew. Tasmanian devils are one of the few solitary hunters known to feed communally. But this social gathering is not for the faint-hearted. It's everyone for themselves. Although this chaotic feeding frenzy appears to be lacking in table manners, there are rules. Long facial whiskers determine personal space. And when invisible lines are crossed, violent skirmishes break out. Older devils proudly wear the battle scars of conflicts won and lost. Devil dinner time is a decidedly brutish affair. While Tasmanian devils rely on powerful jaws to kill and dismember, other predatory strategies are more intricate. Weaving a tangled web, the redback spider prefers to entrap a victim before draining the life from within. Fine silk lines, almost invisible in the forest gloom. They've been carefully placed so that the slightest touch sets off vibrations. And the assassin is waiting. A female redback spider. Tiny, her body is less than half an inch across. But deadly. Her red stripe is a warning badge. A single misstep sounds the alarm. The redback approaches her prey. Squirting a liquid silk to further entangle her victim. Struggling won't help. The strands just draw tighter and tighter. Now she bites. While a lethal cocktail of toxins incapacitates her prey, digestive enzymes have already started to break down her meal from within, turning it to liquid for the spider to suck up at its leisure. Potentially fatal to humans, the redback is considered one of the most dangerous spiders on Earth. Her offspring are no less ruthless. The female has laid her eggs in a sack. Once they hatch, the spiderlings are allowed to share their mother's web for a few days. But there are too many of them. There's only one way to fix that. These newborns are cannibals. They start to eat each other, as well as any unhatched eggs. Only the strongest will survive. In a few days, they'll disperse to build their own deadly traps. The redback spider clearly advertises its deadly nature with a bold red stripe. Sporting the same warning colours is another silent assassin. The red-bellied blacksnake wields chemical weapons of its own. The rivers and streams that nurture Australia's lush forests also harbour some rather nefarious characters. Slithering along a rocky creek bed is one of Australia's most notorious venomous snakes. This male red-bellied black snake is on the prowl. Equally at home in the water as he is on land, he rarely strays far from the watercourse to which he is so well adapted. With a predilection for aquatic species, he can track prey along the riverbank. And will even swim below the water's surface in pursuit of tadpoles and fish. And today, this silent assassin will need to ply all the tricks of his deadly trade. His keen eyesight and hearing have detected a moving target. A spotted marsh frog. This nimble amphibian is no easy meal. The fast-moving frog darts from one hiding hole to the next. But it leaves behind a chemical trail, which is quickly detected by the red-belly's probing tongue. The snake stealthily pursues his mark in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Until there's nowhere left to hide. A deadly concoction of toxins and anticoagulants delivered by long, sharp fangs swiftly overwhelms the prey, which he devours whole, paralysed but still alive. Savouring his meal, this covert killer slinks back off into the shadows. Australian forests are full of peril, and it's not just the animals that are built to sting, maim and kill. Here, even the plant life is getting in on the action. While the noxious gimpy plant wields chemical weapons, carnivorous plants, like the sinister sundew, lure unsuspecting victims to their deaths. Home to a wealth of predators, these ancient forests can be dark and treacherous. But sometimes it's the forest itself that poses the greatest threat. Australian plants must be treated with a healthy respect. The gimpy stinging tree looks like an ordinary plant, but its leaves hold a deadly secret. It's one of the world's most toxic plants. Fine hairs on the leaves and stem contain potent venom. Passers-by can be envenomed by simply brushing against its foliage. Once lodged in the skin, these fine hairs release neurotoxins that cause excruciating and long-lasting pain. So brutal is the effect that it has been known to cause fatalities amongst dogs and even horses. These soft woody shrubs can grow up to 15 feet tall. Resident pariahs that are best avoided. But strangely, some creatures can withstand the toxic hairs and use the tree as shelter from predators. Mantis nestle amongst its leaves. Spiders string their webs from its stems. They don't seem at all bothered by the tree's venom. This caterpillar can even eat the leaves, oblivious to the horrific fate of other creatures that even touch the tree. It's the caterpillar of the Jezebel butterfly. It's managed to breach this tree's impenetrable defense against the plant eaters of the forest by evolving immunity to the toxins. For every deadly weapon evolved, there's always someone who can find a defense against it. One plant has developed a more proactive strategy. Rather than keeping animals away, it draws them close. This is the sundew. The clear droplets on the end of its tentacles catch the light, giving the plant a glittering beauty and its name. Yet these exquisite diamonds hold a sinister secret. They're designed to entrap the plant's food. Most plants get all the nutrients they need from the soil. But in areas of poor soil, they can't get enough crucial nitrogen, so they must look elsewhere. These clear droplets look and smell alluringly like sweet nectar, irresistible to insects. As the ant tries to feed on the rich nectar, it doesn't realise that this is a scam. There is no nectar, just a very, very sticky mucus, from which there is no escape. Struggling only makes it worse. Exhaustion will bring about a drawn-out death. To extract the valuable nutrients from its victim, the sundew excretes digestive enzymes, slowly dissolving the ant so that the precious nitrogen can be absorbed through the leaves. Some of these plants can grow to over 3 feet high and live for 50 years or more, getting everything they need from the corpses of unfortunate prey. Australia's deadly plants come in all guises. The gympie has fine hairs laced in venom. The sundew lures and ensnares, and adding fuel to the fire, Australia's most famous tree coats itself in poison. As diverse as Australia's forests are, they are dominated by one particular family of trees, the eucalypts. Also known as gum trees, these ubiquitous icons are killers in their own right. Eucalyptus leaves are covered in glands that produce oil, giving them a waxy texture. These oils are toxic, even to humans, and most of Australia's native animals leave them well alone. Except koalas. They're not just immune to the toxic leaves, they thrive on them. Although the eucalyptus leaves are low in protein and high in toxins, the koala's specially adapted stomach extracts all the nutrition it needs, which isn't much. To conserve what precious energy they do get, they just sleep, sometimes for 22 hours a day. For koalas, the eucalypt is the giver of life. But these trees can also bring death. It's not the toxicity of the eucalyptus oil that is most dangerous. It's the oil itself. It burns. Bushfires frequently ravage Australian forests. Gum trees are known as gasoline trees. Their highly flammable oils fuel the inferno, burning at temperatures higher than 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the burning point of jet fuel. Firestorms incinerate the native animals that can't escape. What was once a refuge has become a crematorium. But while the flames consume the forest, the gum trees have evolved to depend on the blaze. The passing flames open their seed capsules. In the burnt, rich, ash-laden soil, the seeds establish themselves and grow quickly, affording them a strong competitive advantage over other plants. The forest that burns belongs to the eucalypts. A force of nature. Bushfires devour everything in their path. But in Australia's tropical north, there are other destructive forces at play. Tiny toxic terrors wreak havoc amongst the branches. For green tree ants, the forest canopy is a gangster's paradise. Green tree ants live in a rigid, structured society with one queen and up to 500,000 workers. Everyone works for the good of the colony. Even the larvae do their part, generating silk for the building work. They're also known as weaver ants. The colony constructs a multitude of nests throughout the canopy. These multi-chambered structures are built by the smaller, minor workers, who weave them from leaves and larval silk. In an incredible display of teamwork, communicating by touch and pheromones, these workers even build body bridges and ladders to bridge gaps. All these workers need to be fed, so larger major workers go out to hunt. Marauding gangs scour the forest canopy, and in such numbers they can take on prey much larger than themselves. Cicadas, beetles, and other victims are quickly laid to waste. This deadly, organised gang pillages the surrounding area. Very little stands in their way. These major workers are also the soldiers, fierce sentinels, defenders of the colony. The presence of another ant species on their patch is not tolerated. Armed to the teeth, trapjaw ants are big, carnivorous ants with extraordinarily strong jaws. These formidable predators wield a bite force of over 300 times their own body weight. But this small troop of foraging trapjaws is no match for the green ant army. Encroaching on rival turf, they're outnumbered and outgunned. The green tree ants unleash an arsenal of chemical weapons. They pepper the trapjaws with formic acid fired from abdominal glands. The invaders are quickly overwhelmed. While green tree ants ravage the forest canopy, the forest floor below is no less of a battleground. Amidst the host of thieves and assassins roams an ancient warrior, the rainforest scorpion. Over 400 million years ago, this primeval creature emerged from the oceans. A predator that still prowls the forests today. Australia's rainforest scorpion is a war machine. Protected by a tough exoskeleton armour, armed with huge, powerful pincers, and carrying a venomous sting on his tail. He can defend himself and he can hunt. His flattened shape allows him to squeeze into rock crevices or hide under logs, from where he watches over his territory. When another male invades his turf, he's having none of it. He leaves his rival in no doubt that he's not welcome. He comes out at night to hunt under the light of the moon. An arachnid related to spiders, he has numerous pairs of eyes. And even in low light, he can detect light and dark shapes. But he can also feel his way through the undergrowth. Fine sensory hairs detect the faintest movement in the air. And special organs, called pectines, on the underside of his body decipher textures and scents on the ground. He hunts spiders, centipedes, and crickets. He uses his formidable pincers to overcome smaller prey with brute strength. His venom is valuable and is reserved for larger prey or self-defense. The serrated inner edges of his pincers tear the victim into bite-sized chunks, while alien-like mouthparts secrete digestive enzymes to break down his meal. He's secured his catch without the need to spill any precious venom. His chemical weapons cache remains full. He's locked and loaded. If he's attacked, he won't go quietly. While some forest assassins diligently conserve precious venom, others wield it with reckless abandon. Lethal toxins literally drip from the fangs of Australia's largest spider, instilling fear in the hearts of all who live here. The Australian tarantula. Deep within Australia's steamy highland rainforests, hidden terrors lie in wait. A few days of torrential downpour have disturbed the forest floor. And from dark places, dark things emerge. The tarantula, or bird-eating spider, is Australia's largest spider. It can grow to the size of a man's hand. Measuring nearly half an inch long, its fangs are longer than those of a brown snake, delivering venom that's lethal to frogs, toads, and small mammals. Foraging amongst the leaf litter, a brown bandicoot wanders perilously close to the spider's lair. has caught its attention. But the bandicoot has little to fear. It's immune to the spider's deadly bite. A predator itself, the bandicoot now eyes the spider with hungry eyes. In response, the tarantula issues a warning. Its impressive threat display is enough to ward off the predator. With the threat gone, the spider retreats into its lair. Tarantula burrows can extend 3 feet below the surface. Radiating out from the entrance is an intricate network of strong and durable strands. Trip lines that alert the spider to the presence of passing prey. The tarantula waits patiently for impromptu dinner guests to announce their arrival, unaware that they are on the menu. A single misstep seals the bush cricket's fate. The hulking spider drags its victim back into its lair so that the feast may begin. Life in the undergrowth is perilous. To survive here, forest inhabitants have developed a raft of unscrupulous predatory strategies. While invertebrates wage chemical warfare and carnivorous marsupials tear flesh from bone, even the trees sting and burn. So, the next time you enter an Australian forest, remember you should tread carefully, because lurking within every shadow and behind every tree are a host of deadly Australians. From tangled mangroves and raging rivers to dark waterholes and vast floodplains, Australia's waterways are complex, competitive, deadly. The riverbeds are battlefields where the vicious thrive. The marshy grasses are alleyways from where the cunning strike. A web of organised crime winds through Australia's deadly wetlands. These are the case files of Australia's most notorious wetland killers, assassins, stalkers, and con artists. Where there's water, there are animals wielding biological weapons, each displaying cunning methods to capture and devour prey. Leading the lineup, the heaviest hitter of them all, the saltwater crocodile. River mouths are the gateway to Australia's wetlands. The brackish water of the mangroves, fringing much of the continent's coast, hosts an abundance of dangerous wildlife. But nothing is more formidable than the saltwater crocodile. Known to friend and foe as the Salty. The world's largest living reptile, the Salty can grow to 23 feet and weigh beyond a ton. They are the undisputed rulers of northern Australia's coasts. They have the muscle and the weapons. Their mouths are crammed with up to 60 lethal blades, designed for killing rather than chewing. Almost anything straying across their path is in danger of being eaten. Getting too close to a salty only happens once. To function with ruthless efficiency, these killing machines must run at the correct heat. Saltwater crocs work to maintain a constant body temperature of around 89 degrees Fahrenheit. But they must prevent their brains from overheating. Their gaping mouths enabling evaporative cooling. Although the crocodilian brain is small, salties are capable of learning, observing the habits and feeding patterns of those they stalk. Study begins at a young age. Juvenile crocs are known to target a peculiar fish that can walk on dry land, the mudskipper. Mudskippers crawl from the water at low tide, escaping the dangerous world below the surface. Before emerging, they enlarge their gill chambers, filling them with water. The chambers seal tightly to keep the gills moist, allowing the fish to breathe on land. But escaping the water doesn't free them from all its dangers. Juvenile crocodiles hone their hunting technique by stalking mudskippers. It's perfect training before they graduate to much larger prey. It's mid-morning. Having warmed up, the boss croc and a member of his harem head out separately to hunt. Fast swimmers over short distances, salties can reach 18 miles an hour. They move upriver, each in search of a different meal. Water buffalo wander across the wetlands. Introduced from Western Asia, they now run wild. They graze on aquatic grasses and other wetland plants. The males can weigh up to 1 tonne, eating up to 66 pounds of vegetation every day. As the heat slowly rises, the buffalo move to the water to drink and cool down. The female croc sees them. She stays hidden, waiting for her moment. Crocodiles haven't changed much since the time of the dinosaurs. They're designed to ambush. Only her eyes, ears and nostrils are exposed above the waterline. But moving in for the kill, she disappears completely. Muscles constrict her nostrils and her throat is closed off with a flap of skin, preventing water from entering her lungs when she opens her mouth. She targets one of the smaller buffalo that has wandered in too deep. The notorious death roll finishes the job. Meanwhile, the male has come across another thirsty local. A wallaby, desperate for a midday drink. The reptile's approach is silent. The wallaby wanders into the boss croc's kill zone. The beast hurtles from the water at 12 miles per hour. He can't move his jaw from side to side and chew like a human. The only way to break up his kill is to shake the carcass to shreds. The crocs each return to their home among the mangroves to digest their meals. While the saltwater crocodile relies on brute strength to capture its prey, another more diminutive hunter has evolved a highly skilled approach. The archerfish. Omnivorous, opportunistic, and an expert marksman. It will consume anything floating in the water, but has developed an extraordinary skill for hunting prey far beyond their aquatic domain. A master of physics, the archerfish can make lightning-quick calculations to perfect its aim and dislodge prey. A garden orb weaver spider has selected a branch to form the foundation of its web. Little does it know, the new property is well within the fish's accurate 6-foot range. When eyeing its quarry, the archer must compensate for refraction, the bending of light as it passes from air to water. Viewed from below, the target isn't exactly where it seems. Despite the accurate shot, the spider manages to maintain its grip on the branch. Compressing its tongue against a groove in its mouth, the fish creates a tube to funnel the water. A special cover over the gills rapidly snaps shut, forcing the water through the tube. Once again, the spider clings on. This archer must also account for the curved trajectory of the water jet. Letting gravity bend the shot toward the target. Success. While the archerfish employs precision ballistics to dislodge its quarry, the peculiar platypus homes in on the electrical signals of its prey. The estuaries are fed by a network of streams. As the water shifts from salty to fresh, new habitats support distinct interactions between hunters and the hunted. Moving upstream, one finds a true wetland oddity, shy and elusive, the platypus. The platypus builds his burrow just above the waterline. When the coast is clear, he escapes his den for a day of foraging. Underwater obstacles are no challenge for this dexterous diver. Even though he's well suited to aquatic environments, he's a mammal and needs to come up for air every 30 seconds or so. Underwater, he closes his eyes and seals his nose, yet is still a highly effective hunter. His bill is covered with about 40,000 electroreceptors that detect the faint electrical signals emitted by prey. He combs the riverbed with his bill, searching for any pulse. The first meal for the day, a tasty worm. Nourishing, but far from enough. He needs to eat about 20% of his own weight every day. He'll store extra fat in his tail, up to half his entire body's weight, providing power for extra bursts of energy. Faint electrical pulses belie the presence of a crayfish. The crayfish tries to escape, but the platypus follows his electrical signal. One crayfish down, but it isn't enough. A platypus spends around 12 hours a day searching for food. But this feast is about to be rudely interrupted. It's mating season, and another male has swum into his territory. He'll need to vanquish the potential rival. When it comes to combat, the males are well equipped for a knife fight. They both carry concealed weapons, a venomous spur behind each hind foot. The tussle ends quickly. The challenger escapes the fight, swimming downstream in search of another mating ground. The victor can resume gorging on crayfish. By sunset, the platypus has had his fill. A day of foraging and fending off a rival has earned him a well-deserved rest. Elsewhere, below the surface of a slow-moving stream, lies another battlefield. This hardened bully feeds on the dead and the dying. Few species would challenge the freshwater crab. Its armour protects soft tissue, and even its eyes can be retracted when threatened. Its claws are weapons for attack. However, the crab shares the river with an unlikely rival. A leech. A tiger leech. No armour, no obvious weapons, yet this leech is deadly. At just 2 inches long, it lives up to its name. The leech is stealthy, seeking out the chemical trails of potential prey. The crab sees movement amongst the detritus, a would-be victim. The leech seems wary and keeps its distance from the well-armed aggressor. It watches and waits, as other leeches gather nearby. The crab moves in to attack. But a second leech arrives, seeking the crab's juicy insides. The crab decides that attack is the best form of defence. Its claws could do serious damage to a leech's soft body. But the leeches are slippery customers, covered in mucus. The leeches pause their attack, only for a moment. This leech is hungry. It manoeuvres behind the deadly claws and tries to latch on. The crab attempts to shake off its attacker. A master at breaking and entering, the leech has found a chink in the crab's armour. Once it strikes soft tissue, it tears into the flesh, injecting an anticoagulant. The leech begins to suck out the crab's vital fluids. The crab's struggle is futile. Its life is literally being sucked away. The leech will gorge itself, consuming up to 5 times its original body weight. All that remains of the crab is its armour and the weapons that proved useless against the aquatic vampire. The leech won't need to feed again for months, even a year. Whilst micro-monsters battle it out in the streams, larger predators rule over the isolated waterholes. This next wetland hunter will pursue prey over any obstacle. Australia's deadly wetlands shift with the cycle of the seasons. The creeks and rivers often change course, leaving behind isolated bodies of water. These waterholes are centerpieces to a mosaic of terrains that require multiple talents to traverse. Amongst the thick grasses that surround the waters, a serpent assassin seeks its next meal. Those brown stripes and its highly aggressive nature have earned it the name tiger. Instead of claws, it wields fangs. One of Australia's deadliest snakes, tigers are responsible for the second highest number of bites to humans. When untreated, half of all tiger snake bites result in death. Equally adept at hunting in water as on dry land, it swims with ease and can stay submerged for at least 9 minutes, stalking fish and amphibians. Tigers have been known to climb 29 feet from the ground to claim bird prey. Today, the snake has been spotted. The honeyeater sounds the alarm, alerting others to the threat. A missed opportunity. The snake will need to seek a meal elsewhere. The brown rat is an introduced rodent, abundant in these grasses. tiger snakes play an important role, preventing their population from blooming beyond control. The tiger snake's fangs are hollow. It injects a complex cocktail of toxins, one of the most potent of all known snakes. Some components in the venom attack the rat's nervous system, paralysing it. Other ingredients target the rat's blood, causing internal hemorrhaging. Having consumed its prey whole, the tiger snake seeks out a quiet place to digest its feast. The tiger snake isn't the only reptile to conquer the diverse terrain around the waterholes. On the fringe of a billabong in Australia's north, another solar-powered stalker soaks up energy for the day. Never far from a source of fresh water, a Merton's water monitor will eat almost any suitably sized animal that crosses its path. With strong legs, it navigates the rocks. Its long claws and powerful tail fend off rivals during ritual combat in the breeding season. It hunts both on the land and in the water. The tail is both propeller and rudder. The water monitor detects the odour trails of potential prey using his tongue, a trait he shares with the tiger snake. The appendage is split in two, each tip flickering separately, maximising the amount of air the monitor can sample, but also providing directional guidance. The scent particles are transferred from the tongue to a chemoreceptive organ located in the roof of the mouth. The monitor has big teeth for ripping apart larger prey, but smaller meals are devoured whole. Merton's monitor absorbs the last of the sun while it digests, surveying the landscape it has so easily conquered. While venom and claws might rule the waterholes, other wetland invaders secrete toxins from their skin or strike from the sky. This floodplain fighter simply squeezes the life from its victims. Hundreds of large rivers snake their way across Australia's coastal plains as they flow to the sea. Tropical monsoons drown the land, transforming these plains into a vast expanse of shallow wetlands. A nocturnal water python patrols the soggy land surrounding the river's edge. The python can go for 2 years without feeding, shrinking its gut to reduce the amount of energy it needs to survive. It's been a long time between meals. The python's appetite needs to be satiated, and there's a perfect target scurrying about. A ricali, a native water rat and wetland forager. Like the python, it prefers nighttime ventures. It will scoop up crustaceans and pounce on the opportunity of an easy mussel. It then slinks back to a regular feeding site to consume the meal. The water python stalks its prey. The snake's mouth is surrounded by scales that can pick up the heat signatures emitted by warm-blooded victims. In Australia, only constrictors, like the python, possess this sense. It receives a faint signal from the ricali and closes in. There's no escaping the python's suffocating grasp. Its coiling body forces the water rat's blood pressure to soar. The rodent's heart fails to pump blood to its vital organs. The python squeezes until the ricali is dead. The snake should be wary when consuming its prize. These wetlands are full of thieves. The python's lower jaw bones aren't fused together at the front. Instead, they're held together by an elastic ligament, which allows for an exceptionally wide gape. Teeth in the lower jaw then rake the food back into the throat before waves of contracting body muscles push the food down. The snake's gut quickly kicks back into action, producing powerful enzymes and gastric juices that slowly digest the ricali. The water python slithers from the scene of the crime, in search of somewhere to digest in safety, far from its own floodplain predators, both in the water and in the air. The floodplains are home to a multitude of bird life. However, the water birds must remain vigilant. Predators stalk these skies. The white-bellied sea eagle is a versatile bird of prey, feeding on almost anything, from snakes and small mammals to other bird life. However, the eagle's diet is mainly aquatic. The white-bellied sea eagle glides with its wings stretched out, letting the thermal currents do the hard work. It spies a body of water, an excellent source for a fresh fish meal. The sea eagle searches for the perfect vantage point and launch pad. The bird factors in height and its relation to the sun's position in the sky. Perched, it studies the water below. It has keen vision, with eyes nearly 1.5 times larger than birds of a similar weight, enabling it to distinguish objects extremely far away. The sea eagle circles directly towards the sun, minimising the chance that its shadow might give it away. A clean snatch and grab from a master aerial predator. But the sea eagle must select its meals with care. Not all marsh-dwelling prey is safe to consume. The creatures of the floodplains are under attack by a nasty intruder. The cane toad was introduced to Australia in the 1930s to control pests feeding on sugarcane. Unfortunately, the toads preferred to consume the native wildlife. Cane toads leave a bad taste in the mouths of would-be predators. So, they've been left to run rampant. This male is a gluttonous brute. If he can swallow it, he'll eat it. He hunts without grace or subtlety. Inside his mouth, glands coat the tongue in sticky fluid. The tongue flick lasts only 10 milliseconds. By depressing his eyeballs into his mouth palate, he forces the meal down. In these dangerous waters, most creatures as small as the toad keep a low profile. This brute, however, enjoys his meal out in the open. Because this toad is full of more than just swagger. His defence oozes from his skin. Glands behind his eyes secrete a deadly hallucinogenic toxin. Unwary attackers suffer a long, drawn-out death. Cane toads can live up to 15 years, and while adults tend to be thuggish loners, younger generations knock about in gangs. They swarm over the marshes, devouring anything in their path. While native creatures tend to give these toxic pests a wide berth, the young toads do have one wetland enemy. The keelback snake. Endemic to Australia, these snakes hunt toads, albeit with middling success. Keelback snakes carry a genetic tolerance to cane toad toxin, at least in small doses. This trait is inherited from ancestral keelbacks that evolved among toads in Asia. The smaller the toad, the fewer toxins it produces. But something's amiss. The toad is too big and the poison too strong. If the keelback had devoured the toad, it would have followed a multitude of native predators to an early grave. While the keelback might not always come out on top against the cane toad, there are others that do. Ants are among the few native species unaffected by the toad's toxins. These minute warriors wage war in armies. With strength in numbers, sharp mandibles, and caustic fluid fired from their abdomens, they have overcome a toad. The toad's natural defence of standing still and letting his poison deter attackers only makes their task easier. Within a few days, there will be nothing left but bones. A fitting end to an invader that doesn't belong in any of Australia's wetlands. The cane toad may be overcome by the smallest of warriors, but upstream, larger killers wait for the perfect moment to strike, while others utilise cunning to ensnare their prey. The sprawling floodplains of northern Australia's coast are fed by rivers and streams that flow down from the inland hills. These tranquil waters are filled with their own sketchy characters. An arachnid con artist stalks the foliage surrounding the waters, searching for a meal. The Porsche spider may only be half an inch long, but what she lacks in size, she makes up for in pure cunning. The Porsche's preferred prey? Other spiders. The larger St Andrew's cross spider builds a web that reflects ultraviolet light, attracting flying insects. But today, the web has caught the attention of the Porsche spider. An intelligent stalker, the Porsche analyses the vegetation surrounding her victim's web. She determines the best vantage point from which to attack. The Porsche spider's mottled appearance mimics the forest detritus. The spider enhances the effect by imitating a leaf caught in the breeze. If the Porsche is sighted, she will simply blend into her surroundings. The clever Porsche spider plucks at the strands of the St Andrew's web, imitating the struggling vibrations of insect prey. The St Andrew's cross spider moves in to investigate. With her quarry lured right where she wants it, the Porsche returns to her vantage point, the optimal position from which to attack. She can calculate distances with extreme accuracy. The Porsche spider injects her lethal venom and digestive enzymes, drinking the insides of her victim, leaving only the husk of its exoskeleton. It's an impressive display of cunning and deceit that enables this con artist to overcome a meal twice its size. Below the scene of the Porsche's crime, the placid waters host another forest hunter. The freshwater crocodile. This smaller, slender cousin of the salty might not look dangerous. Unmoving, silent, but don't be fooled. This croc has speed and power. But patience is its true virtue. It favours the sit and wait method of hunting. It allows its prey to come within range, moving with speed only when required. The freshwater crocodile will eat just about anything it can find in the shallow waters of inland streams. With a perfect hydrodynamic design, it propels itself through the water with a muscular tail, making up half its body length. But like all reptiles, freshwater crocodiles are ectotherms, gathering heat from their surroundings. In the morning, the smaller turtles gather energy faster. A missed opportunity. But this crocodile isn't too fussed. It knows that in this wetland there will soon be other prey arriving from above. Fruit bats, otherwise known as flying foxes. These shady dealers prefer to do most of their business at night. They hide from the sun throughout the day. Flying foxes live together, huddled in large colonies. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, they compete for shade. They're all at risk from the same danger: dehydration. They need water. When evening comes, the bats prepare to leave the roost. Before they can eat, they must drink. They collect water by swooping low onto the surface, drenching their fur, so they can lick off the moisture when they return to the roost. Lurking below, a crocodile waits. After a full day in the sun, it's charged up and hungry. The crocodilian metabolism may lack stamina, but it still powers explosive bursts of speed. Just missed. This bat knows the croc is on the hunt, but desperate with thirst, it takes the risk. It doesn't take long before other freshies join the feast. As the darkness descends, the surviving fruit bats head out across the forests. Searching for fruit up to 30 miles from the roost, they will carry seeds far from the parent trees. Flying foxes play a crucial role in distributing fruit trees across the forest and maintaining the habitats of deadly Australians below. These waterways are the lifeblood of Australia. From the highland streams to lowland floodplains, isolated waterholes and brackish estuaries. Each environment sets the stage for complex interactions between predators and their prey. Whether it's a high-speed chase and a venomous bite, or an assassin's ballistic skills, each adaptation is honed to provide a predatory edge within a particular niche. From the forests to the sea, Australia's wetlands are truly deadly.